Okay, so do you know anything about Divinity?
Yes, I have played the second part, Echo Draconis.
Yeah.
But only 2 hours. There were so much RPGs I have to play in that time. But I have bought
Dragon Knight Saga.
The collector's edition of the game.
Excellent. Oh, okay.
You have earned a lot of money with me.
Okay, that's so good. So, the story of Dragon Commander actually takes place before all of the other games. And yeah, it's a kind of prequel to all the other divinities, and in short, you're a young prince, that's a Dragon Knight, and your father gets brutally murdered for actually opposing a new religion that has come onto Rivellon. This religion is led by Aurora, a very big bad Dragon Knight, and it is your goal to avenge your father and to liberate the countries in Rivellon. And of course you'll be doing this with, by applying brute force and also making the right political decisions. So here we have the Raven. Here, hold on, I'll restart. Then you can get the space. Okay, so here we have the Raven. This is the mothership of the player. Here you'll talk to all your commanders, your generals, you have your counselors, you got your princess, you make strategic decisions. So we're going to go over to the strategic map. And here you can see that this is somewhere in the middle of the game. We have conquered half of Rivellon, and the other half is actually from Aurora, the enemy. And if we go back to the war room, we can talk to the imp, and the imp counselor will actually have an interesting story to tell me. He's telling me that one of the countries in the northern part of the map is actually being heavily fortified. And he suspects that Aurora actually has a lot of units being placed there and is building some kind of secret weapon or device. And he wants me to send 2 of my generals on a scouting mission. He wants me to send Henry and Edmund, but before we give him an answer, allow him to send him, we're going to go to bars where we can meet Henry and Edmund. So this is the bar. On the right we have Henry. Henry is actually a pretty badass general. His story is that he lost his arm defending his previous captain, and he never got the right credits or recognition for it. So he's actually a very bitter character. He really doesn't like to work with any of the characters on board. And he's a real loner, actually. And he's also heard that the imp wants to send him on a mission, so he says, "May the damn imp choke in his dinner. I'm not going on the mission with that arrogant gas bag of a lizard." Now, the lizard is actually a very interesting character because Edmund is a racist lizard. He really thinks that the lizards in Rivellon are the best race and highly exalted and a lot better than any of the other races. So, he doesn't also want to go on the mission, because he's also telling me, I don't want to go behind enemy lines with that one-armed buffoon, and he means Henry with that. So these 2 guys really don't feel like going on a mission together. If we go back to the war room, we can talk to the imp advisor and tell him, you know what, maybe it's not such a good idea to send Henry and Edmund together. They're kind of like water and fire. So I'm going to tell him, don't send me. And he replies very favorably. He says, I apologize for making such a bad combination there. But the thing is, if you actually would send these characters on a mission together, they actually develop their character arc in a different way. So we have all these characters on the wall, and all of them have been fully developed, and they all have their own character arcs. So all these big blocks of text are actually situations that these guys go through, and the way you actually handle these situations determines them how they'll become and how they evolve. In the case of Henry and Edmund, if they go on the mission together, they have a lot of fights, but they notice that they actually can pull off the mission a lot more effectively with the 2 of them. So Henry becomes a little bit more of a team player, and Edmund actually starts slightly respecting the human race as something slightly equal. And many of these choices actually bring them into another type of character. So we also have the princess. I'm going to go over to the bedroom where I can show you the princess. So this is Princess Camilla, and in Dragon Commander actually you do your marriages not only because they're your love interest, but also because they're politically motivated. So because we actually married Camilla, certain aspects of the lizard's upgrades or technology will be available for us. And if you talk to her, we actually noticed that you know, she's a judge. So tomorrow she's got a ruling where she has to you know, give the death sentence to a guy called Araslav. And Araslav is actually a terrorist from Aurora's Aurora's campaign, and he's being caught. And people want him executed. So what he did was he actually bombed one of the dwarven temples, and the dwarves really want him executed. But what Aurora's forces have done is they kidnapped the governor of Feral's children, and they're threatening to have them killed if you actually execute Araslav. So the choice here is we negotiate with terrorists and make the elves happy by you know, having the children get out, or are we going to make the dwarves happy and actually have Araslav executed and give him what he needs? So we're going to do the first choice. We're going to, you know, break the governor's heart, but we're not going to release Araslav. He's going to die. And she actually agrees with it. And then we get a card. Now this is a card that favors the dwarves because they were quite happy with the decision. We get a card that's the attitude booster. It's a political card. If you play this, you can actually increase the attitude of the dwarves. And cards in Dragon Commander can be played in the strategy map or before combat to gain a tactical or strategic benefit over the other players. Now we also have the throne room. So if you go to the throne room, we can see all the counselors of the different races. These guys all have their strong opinions about things, and every turn you'll have an interesting decision that you'll have to make because they present their problems before you. So the dwarf wants to actually, he wants permission for a new law that allows hospitals to actually buy donors' organs from donors. Now, he's telling me that will help the wounded soldiers, but he's actually doing it for the money. So before we make a choice here, we're going to talk to the elf. And the elf tells me it's an absolutely bad idea because, yeah, criminals will start killing other people and selling their organs on the black market to make money. And if we talk to the undead, he actually tells me, like, yeah, we don't really know much about internal organs because we're all bone, but we don't think it's such a bad idea. I mean, he doesn't think it's a bad proposal. If somebody gives his kidney, then it's only natural that we should get some compensation for it. So we're going to talk to the dwarf. Also something I would like to mention is these characters will all be full motion captured and facial captured and also voiced. And we're going to give the dwarf what he wants. We're going to say, you know what, you're going to have this law, no problem. And he's really happy with it, and he even tells you if you're ever short on cash, you can always sell one of your dragon kidneys. I'm sure it can fetch millions on the market. So if we go back to the war room, we can go to the strategy map, and then I can show you what the effect of the choices were. So these countries here with the red fist icons, these are countries that are revolting. And they're revolting because the elves actually live in these countries, and we just executed the children of the governor of Feral, so they're really mad about it. And we also gave the dwarf permission to do the whole thing with the organ donors. So the only way we can actually resolve these revolts is by placing enough military presence or using a card to increase the attitude, or we can also answer questions in a way that can raise the attitude of the party. Also something else, the countries that are revolting don't give you any gold revenue, and they also don't produce any units, you can't get any cards, so you won't get any benefits from these countries. They're pretty useless unless you raise the revolt. We're going to move our units around. And then we're going to end the turn. When you end the turn, you get the combat resolution phase. So in this phase, you can actually choose to automatically resolve these battles by letting the computer dice them out, or you can go into free-scale battles. So right now we're going to do an auto-resolve. And you also get a card for actually winning a battle in a country. And for the real battle, we'll go over to multiplayer, where my lovely assistants will help me. Lawrence, our gameplay programmer, and Octave, our lead QA. So I'm going to start a multiplayer match. So as you can see, the world map is now divided in 4 areas. So I'm the blue guys, Octave is the green guys, Lawrence is the red guys, and the purple is the AI. So we're gonna attack each other so we can show you the real combat. Okay, and then we're going to end the turn. And as you can see, Octave took one of my countries that was undefended. And this battle I'm going to play with Lawrence, and this is a battle where the two of us are in there and our armies as well. But Octave doesn't have an army here, but he can actually join the battle as a dragon and cause some damage on the side. So now we have the battle screen where we can choose our cards. So we have 5 empty slots for the cards, and you can actually fill them with cards. You can see the cards that the other players play, and there's also 3 blind cards for the surprise cards you would like to play. Come on, Octave! Okay, so here we are. This is my army. It's happening to my mouse. It's not reacting. So this is my army, and that's Lawrence's army. I'm going to split them up and move them forward. And also, we're going to head into combat in a second. My units are now unprotected, so Octave is going to try to spawn and do some damage. But I'm not going to let him do that. And that was Octave. Now we're going to head into battle here. Again is spawning behind my back and trying to kill me. Quite some of my units are exploding in the background there. I have no idea why. I'm guessing it has to do with those fighter units that Lawrence sneaked in. And it looks like we pretty much won the battle. And with my dragon I finished off the last units. So that was a battle that we actually played with 2 of us, so there were 2 armies in here. But if we continue, we're going to have a battle with 3 armies, and it's going to be a lot more intense. So I get my card, go into battle. We're going to play our other cards as well. So we got also cards specific for units. So this is the artillery skill. It allows us to go into siege mode. We also have tank skills for minefields. Also have a kamikaze skill for the fighter. And I'm going to play one of my new cards for the dragon skills. And maybe also a armor increase card. Okay, another thing that I would like to show you guys is what you just saw was a battle in multiple planes, so we do use the height difference. I can move my units to a higher altitude. When they get to a higher altitude, they'll move a lot slower, they'll do a lot more damage. If you move them to the lowest altitude, they actually will move at twice their normal speed, but they'll be quite vulnerable for attacks. Someone dragon spawned somewhere. Is that you? So, and again, yes, sneaky Lawrence is mobilizing these units on the right. I'm going to see if I can actually get a bunch of fighters to go there. Right now I'm trying to move my artillery in a position that I can access siege mode. Actually, I'm going to access siege mode right now, and then I'm going to use my tanks to move here and use my hunters to try to take care of this fighters. So, like with any RTS, we have the rock, paper, scissors mechanic, so some units are better against other units, and some units are weaker against other units. I'm going to use one of my nukes to take care of a bunch of the units, and maybe another one as well to take care of another bunch. And he's using his kamikaze skill to go through all of my units. Pretty painful. And I managed to keep 1 or 2 units. That's excellent. Now I'm going over, and what we need to do now is I need to protect my units. Keep my units together. I'm going to make my tanks drop mines so I can create a natural barrier. So as you can see, Octave still has quite some units, and Lawrence also has some units. And he's protecting his units by a field of mines. And Lawrence wants to spawn here to do something, but of course he can't. He's always covering my units. And Octave has apparently still has a lot of units left. And now he's assaulting my units, as you can see, and it pretty much looks like that, yeah, I think I'm almost dead, so I'm pretty close to dying. Okay, so Octave is sending all his kamikaze fighters to attack the last unit of Lawrence, and so this was the end of the battle. So Octave won. As you can see, the dragon is a factor in the game, but he's not really a decisive factor. So you can really do some crazy shit with the dragon, but you need to be tactically advanced to actually make a chance to win. So in the normal mode in the campaign, you would finish all the battles that you have to do, and then you would return to the war room with the new situations and the consequences of your old situations, and just a new turn starts again. So this was basically a turn in Dragon Command. So if any of you have any questions, fire away.
The cards in the game, they looks like similar as the cards from Magic the Gathering. Are you inspired by them?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Magic the Gathering is the ultimate card game. Yeah, of course. You look at those things to get a good idea.
But it's interesting genre mixture, and I will play it. When is the release of the game?
We're hoping in first quarter 2013. Yeah. So I guess somewhere at the start, the beginning of March.
And how much hours I have to play until the end?
Well, we haven't played the campaign to the end, of course, but I'm guessing it might take. I'm hoping somewhere between 15 and 20 hours. I'm not sure. We'll have to see, depending on all the story and everything.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Introduce yourself and say something for our viewers.
Yeah, sure. What should I say?
About the game. Some of our viewers waiting for the game. They are all talk about it.
Okay. So, yeah. So, but what specifically would you like to say? What would you like me to say about the game specifically?
Short story.
Oh, okay, all right.